And the United States of America commemorated the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks in which 3,000 lives were lost. Across the nation, ceremonies and gatherings were held as people came together at memorials and events to honor the victims and support their families. These coordinated attacks were a pivotal moment in American history. They led to military engagements in Afghanistan and Iraq and left a lasting impact on American society. We have the special report.
On the 22nd anniversary of the deadliest terror attacks on US soil, Americans came together in a display of unity and remembrance. At ceremonies held nationwide, relatives and survivors gathered to pay tribute to the nearly 3,000 innocent lives lost in the tragic attack by Al-Qaeda terror outfit. Commemorative events unfolded on September 11th at the very sites where the attacks occurred at New York's World Trade Center, the Pentagon in Virginia, Shanksville, Pennsylvania. President Joe Biden observed the day in Alaska, adding his solemn tribute to the nation's collective remembrance.
My fellow Americans, September 11th, 2001 tested our strength, our resolve, and our courage. The billowing smoke and ash that darkened the clear blue sky that September day. The shredded steel and concrete slabs that rained down from the World Trade Center. The plume of fire that shot up in the sky in Pentagon. I remember seeing as I got off the Amtrak train on my way to work in the United States Senate. The pit and through the earth in Shanksville, a testament to the unbreakable courage and resolve of the American people. But we'll never forget that when faced with evil and an enemy who sought to tear us apart, we endured. We endured.
In a flashback on September 11, 2001, a tragic and devastating event unfolded in the United States. It was a bright and clear morning when 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. The first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City at 8:46 in the morning. Shortly after, at 9:03 a.m., the second plane, United Airlines Flight 175, struck the South Tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense in Arlington, Virginia. The symbol of American military might was now a scene of devastation. Meanwhile, the passengers of United Airlines Flight 93, aware of the other attacks, fought back against their hijackers. The plane ultimately crashed into a field in Pennsylvania at 10:03 a.m., likely saving countless lives in Washington, D.C., where it had been headed. Back in New York City, the situation deteriorated rapidly. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed, followed by the North Tower at 10:28 a.m. The entire nation watched in shock and grief as nearly 3,000 innocent lives were lost in the 9/11 attacks.
Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence. May God bless the victims, their families, and America.
This deadly attack was orchestrated by Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Before the attack, Al-Qaeda issued proclamations that provide insight into the motivations for the attacks. In his November 2002 letter to America, Osama bin Laden outlined Al-Qaeda's motivations behind the 9/11 attacks. Following the 9/11 attacks, the United States started a massive hunt to find and take down Osama bin Laden. This long search came to an end on May 2, 2011. President Barack Obama led a carefully planned mission called Operation Neptune Spear, carried out by highly skilled Navy SEALs. Their target was a heavily fortified compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where it was believed that Osama bin Laden had been hiding for years. With precision and unwavering determination, they located and eliminated Osama bin Laden, bringing an end to a decade-long manhunt.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. It was nearly 10 years ago that a bright September day was darkened by the worst attack on the American people in our history. The images of 9/11 are seared into our national memory.
The September 11 attacks had a profound impact on the United States and the world. The attacks led to the United States launching the war on terror, which has had a significant impact on global politics and security. The world must never forget the victims of the September 11 attacks and must continue to fight against terrorism in all its forms.